Welcome to another discussion on decisions in warfare, a hell let loose commentary. One of the most common questions regarding optimal and fundamental play essentially boils down to, why should I be building instead of fighting? In order to consider this point, I should bring to your attention the fact that you can choose whichever role you want in the game while you are playing the game. Additionally, the game places the onus upon the player whether they want to win or to lose. Let's discuss this particular point further with an example of an optimal opening. What is an optimal opening? Should likely be the first question. And in order to paint in broad strokes and then refine and define, the answer would likely be the opening in which your team benefits the most from the failures of the opposing team. The failures of the opposing team are not quite visible initially, but are compounded during the length of the game. In order to put the enemy in a position to fail from the outset, this opening, described as nodes in 7, ensures that you are doing your utmost to cause the opposing team to fail, and your team to succeed. A counter-argument to this opening is, why not use trucks? The answer is quite simple, but decided by 3 factors. The first factor is that supply trucks cost 100 fuel outside of the first truck. Additionally, supply trucks force drops in the outside of the HQ sector, moving the nodes into a more susceptible position for attack. The tertiary reason is that since the current meta of Hell Let Loose is an aggressive one, forward garrisons are valuable, as are defensive garrisons. Supplies dropped from the initial supply truck ensure frontline garrisons, applying pressure where it is needed most. We begin with manpower, because manpower nodes reduce a player's supply box cooldown timer by 50% the moment the player steps inside the circle, even if the player is not in the support role. The reduction in cooldown is essential for 7-minute nodes, due to the fact that the cooldown is 5 minutes, and therefore would likely take 15 minutes for a player to place 3 nodes alone. By reducing the cooldown timer, the player is able to be back into the fray in less than 10 minutes, meaning only 10% of their possible offensive operational time has been utilized building essential logistic structures. In this opening, combat effectiveness plays a small part as well. By placing anti-tank and anti-personnel mines, which can be resupplied from the previously dropped ammo boxes, the player will gain a moderate amount of combat effectiveness during the building of the nodes. The resupplying also adds a small amount of support effectiveness, since it doesn't matter who resupplies off the player's boxes to earn the support effectiveness bonus. Referring back to the answer of the fundamental question, the player's team is benefited immediately from the node construction in the early game. Early game nodes last longer, and therefore generate both more resources for the commander and more support effectiveness for the player. If the opposing team is not adopting a similar opening, they will be at a resource deficit, which is difficult to overcome, seeing as resources compound the longer the game lasts. referring to the truck argument, after use of the supply truck to drop one of the crates or both of the crates for node construction, the truck must be resupplied. This will keep the truck in the defensive sectors until it is resupplied, instead of on the front line to build garrisons, or in the case of opportunity, behind enemy lines to build offensive garrisons. Nodes in 7 allow squad leaders to take advantage of the failure of the enemy to stop offensive trucks behind their points. It cannot be reiterated enough, in Hell Let Loose Update 10, forward garrisons win games. Nodes in 7 shows to be a promising opening strategy for opportunistic players in Update 10. Improvements are always being made and game science is always optimizing procedures, but for this update, a 7-minute milestone should be adequate to bolster a player's resources for the team and allow the player to become combat effective as soon as possible. If you would like to contribute more information or share information, I am always open to ideas during my own play sessions. This concludes the Nodes in 7 discussion on Decisions in Warfare, a Hell Let Loose commentary. Wherever you are, game hard, game strong, and game smart.